This call is being recorded.
Now, as you're aware of all of your chakras, become aware of the flame within you. Some call it the trifold flame or the violet flame. Become aware of that flame, that eternal flame that burns forever within you. No matter what, that flame is always burning. See it now as the violet flame. See it growing now within you, expanding and growing until it encompasses your entire body, your physical body, and your astral body, and your etheric body, and your causal and mental, all encompassed by this violet flame. The violet flame is purging out all that is unwanted and unneeded anymore, all of the old programming that is no longer needed within you. Programming that has been the veil that has kept you separate from your higher God self, separate within your mind only though, for you have never truly been separate. So see this violet flame burning, purging out all the old to yourself within the flame now. Burning away all the old dross, all the old memories that are no longer needed or wanted. Obviously keep the good memories, but let the old go. Let all the old programming go now as it burns within this fire, within this sacred flame. Now see your flame continuing to expand and grow out past your body, encompassing whatever building that you're in, growing, expanding out past that, past the walls, out into your neighborhood, expanding and growing. And notice how as it keeps expanding and growing, it meets other violet flames on other people as their expansion occurs, even if they are not consciously doing it as you are now. Expand and grow and see the flame expanding and growing beyond the neighborhood, beyond the town, the village, beyond the city itself, encompassing an entire city and an entire state or country, growing so it expands out and encompasses an entire country, and then countries around it. Then the ocean itself, the oceans, all across the oceans, expanding and growing. Now let yourself into your astral body. Just let yourself go out through your third eye now and float up high above your physical body, high up above the earth, looking down at the earth now, and see the violet flame that has now expanded out across the countries, expanding around the globe, till you can see the entire earth engulfed in this violet flame. Now all of the ships that are out here and all of the planets in the solar system all are participating in this as well. And the violet flame from there and them is also becoming engulfed. So if you were to leave the solar system itself now and actually do that, let yourself go out through the sun, through the solar sun as a gateway, and looking back down now at the solar system and see the entire solar system engulfed in this violet flame, all purging out anything that is not of the highest of the high within. And then out past the galaxy itself. Let yourself just go out through the central sun of the galaxy, again as a gateway. And look down now at the entire galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. And see the entire Milky Way galaxy engulfed in this violet flame. Purging out all the old, all the programming that has been encompassed within the galaxy, within the solar system, for eons and eons of time. Now come back down to the earth, back down to the surface of the earth, and feel the energy now as it has been raised and the old has been released. And the planet herself, Gaia herself, is now free to become everything that she wants to be now. She has ascended. See what ascension is like. See what it is like now at the higher levels as you are viewing it from these higher dimensional levels. See Gaia, the blooming of the plants, beautiful sky and the colors within the sky, more than just the blue sky, but radiant colors, as the colors of the rainbow, and even colors that you have never seen before in your third dimensional eyes. For your third eye, your pineal gland, is now wide open, and you can see all that has been held back from your third dimensional vision. But now it is open to you, wide open to you. You can see as you have never seen before, at least not in this conscious knowing self. See as God sees. See as Prime Creator sees. See through his, her eyes. See through Gaia's eyes. As flowers, plants, trees bloom overnight, starting from even a seed and can grow within minutes. And they grow with the intention of those around. So your consciousness expands to the consciousness of the plants. And at the same vibration brings the beautiful blooming colors to life. Just in an instant, just with a thought. See how that will be and how it is now at the higher levels. Simply a creative thought manifests immediately. And truly what you believe you shall see. For it is destined for all to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear and the vision to create. Let yourselves now begin to drift back towards your physical bodies, back in, but bring that vision back with you, that vision of life, true creative life within the source of creation, back in with you. Let yourselves now come back into a complete state of consciousness and circulation, fully revitalized and refreshed. And I am Saint Germain. And I appreciate these times that I can be with you and share and open up new vistas for you, new levels of understanding. Because there is so much now to begin to understand, so much beyond the programming that you have had for so long, to open up your eyes, your physical eyes, yes, but your third eye, matching or resonating with your physical eyes and seeing as you have never seen before. So look around now as you look upon what appears to be negative experience all around by many who are the unawakened. But yet you that are the awakened ones, you the light workers and warriors, as you look out, you see beyond the veil. You see what is really happening. You see the truth beyond the lies, beyond the covertness. You see what you are meant to see. Because as you are seeing what is really there now, the reality that has been created, as you are seeing this reality, you are knowing that all is not as it appears to be. Because when you are open to the possibilities, open to the probabilities of everything that you are experiencing, everything that is beyond the knowing of the average person out there. And we use the term average as unawakened, because as they are looking at this vision, as they are looking at what is there, they see calamity, they see distress, they feel despair, they feel hopelessness. But you, those of you with your eyes wide open, you see hope. You see experience beyond the levels of this lower dimension. You see joy, you feel joy. As you look upon a family that has gathered together, you see the joy in their expressions, not the despair that they may be feeling at the time. You see what can be, not necessarily what is in the moment. But yet we always tell you to be in the moment. And that is what you need to continue to do. Be in the moment. Be in the joy in every moment. Find that joy. It is there if you but look for it. You who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, see the expression that Gaia is putting out now. Gaia is planning this. Gaia is a big part of this plan, rather. Not that she is planning it only, but there are many that are a part of this plan. You yourselves are a part of this plan. And a very big part, I might add here, because without you, the plan could not exist. The plan could not become all that it is meant to be. But you continue to look out now and see more and more people awakening. See the violet flame that is expressing itself out now, that is growing and expressing and becoming much larger and bigger within more and more people. As more and more people are becoming awakened, more and more are understanding now that what they have been looking at is not the real reality. It is yet but an illusion. And as they awaken to this illusion, then they can begin now to create the new golden age of Gaia. That is what this is all about as you come closer and closer now to the event. And I say the event. Yes, there are many events and will continue to be so, but the event is on the horizon now. The new dawn is approaching. And as the new dawn approaches, the republic that is the United States of America is opening up again. It is becoming that which it was meant to be. Slowly it might be to those of you, but to us it is happening at a light speed because of all the programming now that is being overcome by so many, many more each and every day. Each and every moment, more and more are awakening. You may not become aware of it. You may think that it is the same old, but I can assure you it is not the same old. As you come out of this current crisis, we will say here, and we will not call it a pandemic because it is not that, it has never been that. It is an event that has been created, has been expressed for a different purpose, for a purpose for the dark forces to hold on to control of mankind. But that has entirely backfired on them because those of the light forces have taken this so-called crisis and turned it into something that can become and is becoming wonderful. And that is the hope that all of you need to continue to have, because the hope is what keeps man going, keeps humanity going, moving forward, striving for the highest good for all involved, reaching out to the heavens here, right here within the earth and on the earth now. It is here now. Heaven is here. It was said there would be a new heaven and a new earth, and the new heaven and the new earth have already arrived. It is just that your eyes, your physical eyes, are not yet seeing it, but your third eye is seeing it. As you allow your imagination to take over, as you allow your creative ability to take over, then you begin to see the reality that is beyond the illusion. And you are now creating that new reality. Every moment of your lives, every thought that you have is creating that new reality. And when you fully come to understand that, and I say now fully come to understand that, then, my dear friends, you have ascended. I leave you now at this time with one simple understanding that is yet coming. And a grand announcement is in the works here now. A grand announcement indeed. It may be a series of announcements, but there is one in particular that will begin to set everyone looking ahead as to what is possible rather than looking behind as to what was. And as this announcement comes forward, many, many more will begin to awaken to the truth. Because as the James is very fond of saying, from your X-Files, the truth is out there, and the truth is coming. Peace and love be with all of you, and may the violet flame continue to burn and express outward to all that are around you and certainly within you as it continues to wash away, to wipe away, to burn away all the programming that is no longer needed and the memories that are associated with that programming, which are also no longer needed. Peace and love be with all of you. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om. Greetings to you. One who serves here, Shoshana here, and we are ready to follow up after that wonderful message from Saint Germain. Wasn't that indeed a wonderful message? A message of hope, we would say here. A message of grand hope that everything is happening exactly as it needs to, and you are in that right and perfect moment. This is what you came here for, people. This is what you came here to do. Your missions are unfolding now, even as we are speaking here now. You may not be consciously aware of them yet, but they are coming. They are going to come to you in your dream state. They are going to come to you in your meditation state. Your guides are going to whisper these missions to you to begin to prepare for these missions, because the time is coming very close now. We will not use the term soon because it is even beyond that, even closer than that now. That the times are coming when, as Saint Germain has given, the truth is coming, announcements are coming, and get ready to open up to expressions that you have not even begun to fathom yet, as to what is coming here and to what is possible. And again, the hope that is in front of all of you now. We are ready now for questions, and before we take questions from your email, we take questions from others here that are on the call itself, as we can then personally express with that one who is asking the question. Would there be questions here? You can unmute your phone now. It is okay to do so, and we are ready to hear your wonderful expressive voices. Which, by the way, we just add here, your expressive voices are going to become more and more telepathic voices. Just a hint here as we move on. Would there be questions here?
Linda?
My goodness, we think we opened a can of worms here by saying unmute your phone. Everybody unmuted their phones, so now everybody, we can hear all the chitter chatter here. Okay, now yes, we can take questions.
Yes, this is Linda. I have my own question.
Yes.
The other day I was inside and I heard myself being called outside. And so I went and I looked up and there was a chemtrail. And I hadn't been seeing many chemtrails. In fact, this was only the second one I've seen in perhaps the past month or so. So I sat down in the chair and I remembered that I had been taught that when I see these chemtrails, I can make a ball of energy with my hands just by moving them around to form a sphere. And as I was forming this ball of energy, I called upon the beings of the elements and the powers of nature and Mother, Father, God, and many ascended beings and the galactic beings. And I threw my hands up and I released this ball of energy, and there were holes punched in the trail of the chemtrail. But then I thought, since I had not seen these chemtrails before or in a while, are they starting them up again, or are these chemtrails different particles that are being given to the Earth as a benefit? And have I misinterpreted that site again?
Very good. Before we answer this question, we give chance to you, Shoshana. We did not ask you. We apologize. We did not ask you if you had any personal message to begin with here. But would you like to?
We do not. We do not. You may continue. Thank you.
Very good. Then we will share this with you about the chemtrail program. It had been largely curtailed, of course, without your planes being able to fly. Then, of course, they were not able to do so either. But because this experience or this what was happening here has now been lifted somewhat. The planes are flying again, and these ones that are attempting to continue the program, the plan that they were experiencing or that they were working on, they are able to continue with that. So they are tending to continue on with business as usual as they are looking at it. But you have to understand that many of those that are flying those planes are doing so without knowing the truth. They are doing so with all the lies, the programming that they have been given, that they are doing something good for the earth. Many of them believe that. Not all, but many of them do believe that. And the ones that do not believe that, but yet are still pushed into flying those planes, must do so because they are in fear of either their lives or their families' lives. So they continue to express in this way, even though they may not want to. Now, with that understanding, know that there are those of the alliance, we will call them the white hats, the good guys, as you might be calling them here. They are certainly aware of this program and are coming closer and closer to being able to end it completely. But until they do, those of the dark forces, those of the cabal, are continuing to work on the plan that they had in motion and that they thought that they would bring about greatly with this particular virus program, that everything was going exactly as they wanted it to, and their depopulation program and all of this was going full force. Well, they have come to understand now that that is certainly not the case, because what they have feared for so long is now coming to fruition. And that is the awakening of the population of this world. That is how we can answer that question.
Very
Do
good.
you have
Thank you
anything
very
you
much.
wish to add, Shoshana?
We wish to share.
Yes, please.
May we share our perspective on this, dear sister?
Yes, please.
Dear sister, the chemtrail program is back in a limited way as it has been curtailed greatly, yet they are attempting in every way with their last gasp to continue it, to block the sun. You see, that is still occurring. What you are doing is of great benefit and teaches you your power that you have within you and your power as a collective with other beings and other masters. What is, we would ask that you do in addition is to ask that those that are piloting the planes, even if they are piloting a drone, because human intervention is required to fly these planes and release these chemicals into the air, we would ask that you ask for their enlightenment, that you would ask that they wake up, that you would ask that they could find other employment to feed their families, that they could remove themselves from this program. We would ask for a higher benefit to occur as you strike one chemtrail, even though this is a great service that you are providing. The source of the service is mankind's consciousness, and you have the power to ask the collective that you work with to raise their consciousness and enlighten them. Does this make sense, dear sister?
Oh, absolutely, Shoshana, and I thank you very much, and it will be done. Thank you.
Namaste.
Very good. Are there other questions here now?
Hello, One Who Serves. This is Lorelei and Shoshana. Hello.
Yes.
So I have been reading The Power of One, and they were talking about the girl who was the channeler having almost been taken, like, sort of while she was in her channeling state, or while she was like out of her body, I guess I would say it that way, that she has been very close to being taken away to, I guess they called it negative time space, where there's negative time space and there's positive time space. I'm using that loosely, but there's a place where you go to kind of like hang out until you reincarnate into a positive and then reincarnate into a negative. So I'm wondering, and then once you get to that negative time space, apparently you can go through a lot of lives of not very good lives to get to the next, back to the place of love or whatever. So anyways, I was curious, is this related to when you tell us not to go out through the solar plexus, like that's what you're in danger of being sort of redirected in a bad direction by those negative forces, as opposed to going out through the third eye and filling the body with light and all that? Is that what that's related to?
That is somewhat correct, yes. First of all, though, you called it the power of one, and it is the law of one.
Sorry, the law of one.
First thing here. And then, as we have been giving for some time here now, it is much more advantageous and safer for you to go out through your third eye, go out in terms of leaving your body out into the astral and etheric worlds. And when you go out in that way, you are going out at a much higher vibrational frequency level here as you are doing that. When you go out through your third chakra, through your solar plexus area, that of course is the area of the ego and the emotional area of your body. And as you go out in that respect, then you are more prone, not necessarily, because you can protect yourself there as well, but you are more apt to encounter, we will say, other forces which can be of the darker nature in this respect, without you even knowing it. Because, see, the White Brotherhood and the Dark Brotherhood are almost essentially the same, except for the absence of light within the Dark Brotherhood. And there are many times that they can come as an imposter, we will say here. And they can say they are Saint Germain, or they are one who serves, or they are Sananda, or whatever it might be. And if you are aware of this and you can see the absence of their light, even though they mimic the light, and that is the term to use here, they mimic it, then if you can see this, then you are protected, and as long as you have your light, you see. But it is just simply much safer to go out through your third eye, we will say here. And that is why we suggest that you do this, and always within these guided meditations, we always encourage it in that respect. Shoshana, do you add here?
We can share, if we may. May we share?
Yes, please.
We will not directly answer your question, but we would like to give a perspective on this one, Carla, that channeled Raw Collective on behalf of all of humanity, so that this book could be written, these books could be written, and shared with humanity, such as yourself, that would be ready to receive those messages. She agreed to this. She agreed to being the spokesperson for the Raw Collective through a channeled session, and she agreed that, and she knew that her body would debilitate in some way quickly, and she knew this, and she agreed to it. We can tell you, and we hesitate, but we can tell you that this one, Carla, has risen to her own personal ascension because she has dedicated her life to the upliftment of beings all over the galaxy, including the Earth, Mother Gaia, And this she has benefited greatly from, as the life of one life of a human is a small price to pay for the upliftment of an entire galaxy collective. Namaste.
Very good. And we will add here that when one begins to be able to utilize this channeling process and begins to bring these energies through, as the James is doing here, and many, many more across the planet are doing so. And that beginning process, it is a need to match a vibration. And even in the beginning here with the James, as we first began to channel through this one, he had difficulty with this in the sense of pains in the neck process, crimp in the neck, we will say here, because of the energies, and was not quite accustomed to the energy, as well as certain others that would attempt to come through, which would begin to race his heart and things of this nature. So there are experiences when you first begin this process, not all, but many, when they begin this process, have some difficulty in doing so. But it is something that you work through, and it is also something that many will make contract for before they even come into these incarnations. Okay? We need to move on. Are there other questions here? Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes?
Hello, this is Karen. I'm just wondering if there's anything you can tell us about the 5G with regards to what the intention was with the creation of 5G and the towers and what's happening now to stop it.
Yes. The 5G program, as well as many of the other programs that the cabal, those who have been in control of the planet for so long, in control of the people even, their plan was for great depopulation in many respects here, reducing the 7 to 8 billion people here on the planet down to a 500 million maybe. And this was their plan to bring this about, and this particular expression of your 5G is a part of that plan. Now, with that understanding, also know that any technology that is being used can be used for the light or for the dark. And in this particular aspect, that of the 5G expression is already being worked on by those of the light forces to minimize the expression of this and to change it into something that can be beneficial to man rather than destructive to man. Okay, Shoshana, anything you add here?
We cannot, but we agree.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yes. Would there be any other questions here? We know there is one question from the email, which we will take care if there are no others. Any other before we move on?
I do have a question.
Yes.
And one time I was sitting out on my patio.
Hold please, 1 minute here. Your dear one says, keep dancing.
Okay, all right. I know who my dear one is. Thank you. I will keep continuing.
Yes. Keep
Thank
dancing.
you, honey. Well, anyway, I was sitting out on my patio, and I looked up at the sun, and there was a big light, which I knew it wasn't a chemtrail. It was solid light, but it was a light that hung from it like it went through the sun. And I was wondering what that was, or if it was something that I should be aware of or to know about, but it seemed like to me that was getting ready for the great event. I don't know why that entered my mind, but that's what I thought. Was I imagining things?
Well, we can tell. Do you first answer? Would you like to answer first, Shoshana?
No, we will will ask you to.
Very good.
share.
Then what we will say here is, as we say many times on these particular instances, is that you are having the eyes to see. You are being able to see them interdimensionally, and those things which are maybe cloaked, we will say, to the unawakened out there, the ones that do not have the eyes to see at this point. And you that have the eyes to see are beginning, and we're speaking not only to this one that asks, but as we always do, we tend to approach this from the collective rather than the individual. And the collective here that is becoming more and more advanced in terms of their opening their third eye center, then they're beginning to see what in the past was not able to be seen by the physical eyes. But because your physical eyes and others as well are coming more and more to resonate with the third eye as it opens more and more, and your vibration continues to increase, then you are able to see what had previously not been able to see there. You are seeing beyond the illusion, you are seeing beyond the veil, and this expression is going to continue to happen. As to what exactly this was, we cannot give to you at this time. That is something for you, but you were already given an answer as we find it, and it is largely what you were experiencing here. Okay?
Yes, and it's so beautiful. I look at the sun. I just love the sun. I go out now that our sun is so bright and we're getting warmer weather, and I look at the sun and feel the sun and sit in the sun, and I don't know if I was born during the time of Ra when they worship the sun, but I get a lot of enjoyment. Thank you.
Absolutely, and as everyone also needs to do as well. Sit in the sun, be in the sun. Do not listen to those naysayers, those ones that say do not be in the sun because it is dangerous to you. It is only dangerous to those who are in the lower vibrations. As you raise your vibrations, and you do that simply by sitting in the sun and feeling the energy, not just the heat, but feeling the energy that is behind it and the love behind it as well.
And I thank my beloved for
Yes.
speaking to me and say to keep dancing, because I'm dancing every day. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. That is why he said keep doing it. And you, Shoshana, do you?
We have a perspective to share, if we may share that.
You may, my dear.
Our dear sister, this is a difficult thing to put into words, but we hope that what we say will be understood in some way. That which you imagine will call forth the beings to create the reality with you, you see. Imagination is what creates reality. So when you say, did I imagine that? Yes, you did. However, it is not a negative. You can imagine the sun creating a portal, creating a pathway, creating a light for you, and it will join in that reality just for you, you see. That is the power of imagination. It is how everything manifests. Namaste.
Very good. Are there any other questions here?
And thank you.
Any further questions before we take that one email question?
Wonder, sirs, can you just tell me if it's true that if we say to an entity that comes around us, are you of the light, they cannot say they are of the light if they're not? In other words, that's the way to know what kind of entity is around us. Is that true?
That is correct.
Great, thank you.
They cannot lie.
Mm-hmm.
They can
Okay.
deceive, they can mimic, as we say, but they cannot lie directly.
Right. So that's a good way to know then who we're with, who we're around. Thank you.
Always ask. Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Again, any further question here? Then we take that one question here from the Linda.
Yes. Thank you. So this came to James from Germany, and the gentleman says he knows that the battle cannot be won until most people are awakened. And he asks, what can he do? What is his role in that? And what can we do as a collective to assist in the awakening of mankind?
Okay, first of all, we cannot answer directly what this one can do because we have to relate it to the collective here. And the collective, in terms of the light workers and even more the light warriors that are involved in this, are here to do exactly that, to help to awaken mankind. First, you awaken yourselves, which you are in the process of doing. Maybe not fully awakened yet, each one, but you are in the process of it. And once you are more fully awakened yourselves, and this is your mission for many of you, as you are more fully awakened, then you will be able to assist others. You can do it now, certainly if they ask for it. If they ask for understanding, if they ask for knowing, if they ask what you know about things, then you can give them a little bit. Do not overwhelm them. They are not ready to know all about ascension or 3 waves of ascension or the event particularly, these types of things. But they can know about it is time for them to come out of their slumber, out of their sleep, and awaken to the reality that is beyond the illusion as you are coming to understand more and more. This is what you can do. You can express to them whenever they ask for it, but do not go knocking on doors and doing what some of the religious experiences are encouraging their members to do. That is not for you to do. You are only to share the light when the light is called for. Okay? Shoshana?
We cannot add to this. That was perfect.
Very good. Then we are done with questions, we understand, and we are ready to release channel. Before we do, Shoshana, do you have any parting message here?
We can say a small thing. There is only one thing to do, and that is share the truth and be brave. And in that course, the world will change. And even if it feels like the world is changing slowly, it is up to each to hold steady and hold steadfast to what they know is the truth and be brave. Namaste.
Very good. And we close with this. As you are coming out of this so-called pandemic, which again is not that at all, but as you are coming out of this experience, this crisis, this type of thing, you are not actually going to return to business as usual. It is not going to be the normal as you knew it. It may appear to be that way at first, but there is so much that is coming in terms of announcements, in terms of news, in terms of the truth coming forward, that when you find yourselves at the next advance here, that as we are understanding it, is toward the end of your July month, if all that occurs as it is intended to now, then the expression at that time is going to be so much higher than what it could have been previous to this entire crisis process here. So at that point, you are going to be at such a much higher vibration that you will be able to then reach out to your family of light that is all around you and will be very much all around you at that time. We speak here in terms of reaching out to your brothers and sisters up in the stars and in their ships and all of this. That is what is planned here. Just a bit of a hint here as we are moving along, because the expression that will be able to be available at that time will be so much higher than it would have been previously. That is all. Shanti, peace be with you. Be the one. Sorry about that.